Yeah.
And now people are going to hear
So
all
then I
that.
said, "That's not my wife, that's my scrungus."
Mm, no.
My wife,
Oh
that's my
yeah, that
scrung.
didn't work.
I should have said it the other way, "That's not my scrungus, that's my wife," or something like that.
Well, we can workshop that for next week.
Yeah, should we just jump right into this?
Ahem hem.
Uh,
Yes.
Chat, just so you guys know, we're recording an episode of our podcast, Tapcaf Transmissions. Typically, we don't really answer questions during. Save your donations for another stream or for a streamer who can answer them and is not recording a podcast. We will see. We're talking about a Star Wars book. We'll get all into that. But yeah, maybe questions at the end. Other than that, are you good, Corey? Everything?
Yeah, I'm good. I've got my copy of Young Jedi Knights, Jedi Under Siege, right
Are
in
you holding
right
up
in
your
my
Kindle?
hands there. No, I've got an actual paper copy of this.
Oh, that's good. Okay, well, let me do my little intro and we can get into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special episode of Tapcaf Transmissions. We are back to talking about books for children with Star Wars Young Jedi Knights, Jedi Under Siege. We're not talking about the Old Republic expansion, Jedi Under Siege, because I don't think, Corey, either of us really play Old Republic.
I haven't played as much as I would like. I want to get back to it someday.
Mm-hmm. Well, that day is not today because, as I said, we're talking about Jedi Under Siege.
What if we just go play Tor now? Who's going to stop us? Who is going to stop us?
No, I don't want to. But so,
Okay, well, I don't want to be here then.
Okay, that's fine.
Just
I titled this stream "Luke was a god awful terrible teacher." Jedi Under Siege discussion, and a lot of people in the chat thought that I was referring to canon Luke, and that Luke in Legends was not actually a terrible teacher. Before we even get into the plot, do you think we should maybe talk about some of Luke's greatest failings in Legends?
well,
He loses one student in canon who goes a little rogue. That happens about 8 different times in Legends.
and that's not including the first 6 of his students that basically just die before he gets them anywhere near an academy.
Mm-hmm.
Like his first one, about an hour after Endor, you've got Dev Sibwara, who Luke only really cares about as a potential Padawan. And like Dev dies, and there's actually a cut scene from Truce of Bakura where he's planning to do like Weekend at Bernie's kind of stuff with him. You're just like, oh, I'm going to teach you about the Force.
I already texted Leia and told her.
I swear to God, Dev, you die now.
Bastard. But yeah, so there's Dev. He loses most of his students. He loses a lot of his first class. One of them literally catches fire and explodes.
Gantoris.
Luke allows Yavin to be attacked
multiple
less
times.
Than 4 times. I can think of 4 times because 2 by his students. We get this book where he gets attacked. We also have in Jedi Knight 2, he gets attacked by Dasan. He gets attacked by Dala, which not really kind of his fault, but
it's technically not his fault, but we talk about that in Darksaber. Then we talk about this attack
also,
where the Jedi are under siege. Yeah, Exar Kun does attack him.
That one is definitely Luke's fault, maybe more than the other ones.
But the most damning thing is that it's a Jedi Academy, they're going to get attacked. You got to have your Star Wars going on, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
He leaves without telling anyone in the last book we covered, Planet of Twilight, when clearly everyone's in, and this is like right after the Darksaber attack. So like they need him there. They think he's on the planet just meditating off in some fucking spring somewhere. It's not, it's irresponsible.
When you're with first aid, he can't leave.
Yeah, and he's like,
we'll handle it.
Without Callista, there's nothing to live for. And it's not like she died and he's sad. She was just like, this relationship isn't working for us anymore. And he goes like full on emo kid phase at 32 years old when he has all these children he's collected from around the galaxy that he's responsible for. He's like, nah.
Yeah, and then later he leaves Streen in charge for long periods of time. I think that's Thrawn duology where he's like, Streen can do it.
Yeah, at least when it's Cam and Tion later on, when Cam and Tion are actually qualified, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean it's not great, but it's still fine. It's like Tion's been training a lot of his students, and we know for a fact that Tion's greatest skill is playing the space harp.
Yeah, Tion does
But
all the heavy lifting with the Jedi.
yeah, Luke also does not protect the Jedi Order in the Yuuzhan Vong War. Um, I feel like we're even still missing some attacks. Probably gets attacked in Junior Jedi Knights as well, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it might even get attacked again in Young Jedi Knights, one of the other books.
Like
I'm not.
there's a specific conversation between Corran and Luke where
Mhm.
like Corran's trying to kind of let him down easy, but it's still the main text of the conversation is like, you're not really good at this.
No, he's really not. Um. So yeah, that's the title, I guess. Why Luke was the god awful terrible teacher. Also, if we look at his just the base, this book is a very very simple in plot, even more than the other ones. The whole book is about them trying to defend Yavin from the attack by the Shadow Cavalry, which I actually kind of like because usually, especially in this era when Star Wars books are dealing with something like that, it'll be like, okay, there's this fun thing going on this planet, and then also like in the last book we read, C-3PO's over here chasing, or C-3PO's over here with his jizz box, like trying to make way just to get across
Don't
the
call
galaxy.
R2D2 that.
So it's nice. No, C-3PO is the jizz box. So it's nice that it is kind of I like that anyways. What did you think about that?
Yeah, like that's been one of the nice parts about some of the young reader books, that most of the Young Jedi Knights books, except for I guess the last couple where you kind of go between Jaina and Jason and then Zek,
Mhm.
they're typically one main plot. And like it's not bad when other books have multiple plots. That's how most books do it. It's just
No.
the last few we've done have been very uninteresting B plots, like the C-3PO and Han one in Planet of Twilight.
Mhm.
So maybe that says more about uh, our attention spans than anything. But
I just like this book
not
because
with
it gave
Planet of
all the
Twilight.
characters, like I'd say the only character who really gets shafted is Lobaka, but all of the main characters are like confronting like a big threat. Like they've been, being built up for this entire because this is the end of the arc.
Mhm.
So they've been built up through this whole arc, and now like they have their moments to shine. We get Jaina; she gets to show off her piloting skills. Um, Jason, to be fair, doesn't really do that much.
He almost gets
Um,
shot down, and he makes Tenelka's heart go all aflutter.
yeah, Jason's more morale. He's there for morale purposes. And then we have Tenel Ka fights the
Is he
Night
though?
Sister. Kind of. I mean,
He's there to be told not to tell jokes.
but it's like people come together and like, oh, that Jason. You know what I mean?
He's basically told like 3 times this book. Not the time for that.
And then Tenel Ka gets him with an absolute zinger at the end.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of Jason's jokes, he has one that's really insensitive. His joke was like, "What do you do if a Rancor steps on your timepiece or your watch? Get a new watch." He says that to Tenel Ka. Like, if you have a Rancor step on your arm, you're gonna lose your arm. Tenel Ka is. I don't know if it's actually Rancor he uses, but Tenel Ka is missing an arm at this
I
point.
think that's a bit of a stretch. I don't think the implication is that the that the watch is on your arm when the stepping happens. But we can get a team reviewing that.
Okay. So yeah, the whole story is kind of about them defending Yavin from. It's a lot of action. Um, and I want to talk about Luke because Luke's not only an awful teacher because he lets the academy get attacked so many times and is kind of flippant about like all these threats that are facing the academy, but also in this book, when they're being attacked, he's like, "Good luck, LOL. Off into the woods you go."
Yeah. I mean,
He's like, "You guys."
he does try to cut his meeting with Brachus short so that he can go and I guess help. So
Yeah,
that's nice of him. He
I
doesn't
did like that battle
immediately
though.
say like, "Hey, that's kind of busy. So maybe
Hmm.
if we want to have our meeting, let's call everyone off for a second and we'll make this a 101 duel."
Hmm.
I thought that would be one of his conditions for meeting with Brachus.
Yeah, you'd think so, but
Instead,
no.
he's just letting all the other Jedi students go around and like. Luckily, there seems to be no other adults involved in the battle beyond Luke, Brachus, and
Yeah,
Qorl. It's just a bunch of
yeah.
kids on either side.
What's her name
So,
on the skiff? But she gets
oh
taken out
yeah.
pretty early.
And what was that battle platform?
There's like I forget what it's in, but there is like an Imperial battle platform that I kind of assumed. Where is it? Aerial landing plot? No, that's not it. That's new canon, I think. There is something that it's basically just kind of like exactly what you'd imagine, like a giant platform with troops that you can land and
Hmm.
like yeah. I don't remember what I've seen it from, but yeah.
Yeah, everyone kind of got their tasks. Like Tenel Ka and Loey went and dealt with that. Really, it was a bomber flying into that platform that took care of that. But
Yeah, but I mean, Jaina, or not Jaina, Tenel did kind of throw her thing at it, which was kind of
yeah,
cool. Yeah.
and then she still got the lightsaber back. So
Yeah.
Raynar even had a job to do where he tried to confront Zek, who was
Mm-hmm.
Jane and Jason's old friend, leading the troops of the Shadow Academy into battle. Zek doesn't want to kill anyone, so he throws Raynar into the water. I thought the water would be pretty clean at first, but it turned out to be kind of brackish. Uh-huh.
I fucking hate doing this podcast.
See, there was a Jason joke for everyone.
Yeah, no, that was good. Um, I liked the duel between Brackus and Luke because, like, the whole time Brackus is like thinks he's so good and he's been showing off his force powers this whole series, but then when he goes against Luke and Luke's actually trying, he like lasts 2 seconds.
Yeah. Which it just goes back to Luke being a bad teacher, or else Brackus would have been better at that.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, how old is Brackus? Like 20, 25?
Yeah, he's probably around there.
Yeah. So we did get a new Rebellion reference. Did you pick up on that?
Was
'Cause I looked it
Queller
up.
mentioned?
Not Queller, but the factory that
Hmm.
because he's at a factory in those books for some reason, producing the droids that like they send across the New Republic. And Luke mentions, "I gave you the chance at that factory on
Yeah.
or wherever."
There was another reference that came in from something that I wasn't expecting it to come in from, but I can't remember what it was right now because I didn't make a note of it. But there's something that they do reference that was kind of obscure. The point that I wasn't even sure that they were intentionally making the reference, but it's Kevin J. Anderson,
Hmm.
so it almost certainly is because that is the main thing that Kevin J. Anderson is good at is
Trying to think of any that I mean, there's always Dark Empire ones,
yeah.
but hmm. I thought at first that those birds in the trees were the same ones that attacked Luke. Because when like the Dark Troopers are, or when the Dark Jedi are attacking, and like it's like the creatures were waiting. I didn't
Yeah.
realize it was like Luke has bird students. I thought it was like
Hmm.
those
Well,
Sith birds.
no, I think it was supposed to be like, oh, his reptilian students jumped out of the water, and then the bird students jumped out of the trees, and then the tree student slashed
Yeah.
once and was like a netty, I assume, was done for the year after that. But
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, that is right. I just thought at first that it was like actually just those things.
yeah,
Those I don't remember what they're called. There's like the 3-headed things that Anakin kills. I
hmm,
think it's Anakin. No, it's Jason that kills them, right?
I don't know.
Hmm. It's not like we read all the books or anything. I will say though, the tree sounds like it's got a pretty good setup. The tree Jedi, whereas like the trees just vibing 24/7. Like the tree's got no job. The tree's like, all I do is sit here and suck up oxygen and water and carbon dioxide and nutrients and just vibe and think about the force.
I was trying to figure out like how long did it take it to build the lightsaber? Because the one arm slash took months of energy out. It said so.
Yeah.
Is
And
it
how
just
long did
standing
it
there
take it
with the
to
lightsaber
get
the
to
whole time?
Yavin as well? Like, did someone wheel it there?
It was just in a pot. They were moving it across the galaxy.
Possible. Well, in one of the other books too, it talks about there being more plant-based Jedi. So
Hmm.
well, they probably just like veg out and literally veg out in a greenhouse all day.
Well, that's all you got to do.
Yeah, I don't know. It just sounded pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
I feel like that's the ultimate Jedi form.
I wonder if
Reproduce
they're
the tree.
expected to like attend Jedi meetings at the academy. Just have to wander over to a
Like Luke,
window.
I can't attend any meeting unless you schedule it 3 years in advance. Yeah.
it did seem kind of weird that there were no adult Jedi around because there was still like you'd assume Streen would be there or maybe Cam or something.
I feel like at this point though they're out doing their own thing. Like,
yeah, but there's no
they don't
like
have any
intermediate
reason.
group of students. This is only
I don't
2
think
years before the
so.
Yuzon Vong War, and there's supposed to be like 100 of them. It is a problem
Yeah,
that
but
like all of Luke's Jedi, when they're kind of graduated, they just go off and do whatever and piss off
mhm,
Borsk Failure.
mhm. Kind of reminded me of like the High Republic in that way, where like when you become a Jedi in the High Republic, and in this you kind of just get to go off and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whereas like the prequels, it's like, yeah, no, you've got like you're on a Jedi Council, even if it's not the Jedi Council, you're like on the Jedi Council for like making sure the Coruscant is stocked with paper at all times, and like you got like Jedi jury duty to do, and like you're on a Jedi tribunal, and it's just like you gotta get 30 professional development hours a month. And it's like Luke's like, use your lightsaber, bro. Like if you get a chance.
Yeah, Luke really just doesn't want the responsibility of uh leading the Jedi or telling them what to do in any
Mhm,
way. Like
mhm,
part of it is magnanimous, like do what's right for you thing, and
mhm,
there is definitely an element of like I this isn't my responsibility.
mhm. Yeah, no, I mean, I can't say I blame him either. Like, I don't know. We've seen what the Jedi can be like. But I mean, again, that's tying into Luke's just, you know, he's not doing great. He's trying. He is trying. I'm not saying he's not, but he could be doing better.
He's trying as long as like Callista isn't around or something.
Mhm. Yeah, true.
It takes Mara to like whip him into shape or something. We'll have to keep an
Yeah.
eye on how that develops though, just to see what the
Well, they'd be married at this point, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so
No, are they? Yeah, because
yeah,
that's
because
this is 24
they
in
get
the
married
old.
in 19.
I always think
But
of this as being more separated from the Yuzong Vong War than it is, but it's like
I know, me
a
too.
year before.
Yeah, which kind of like it does kind of ruin like all these like there's serious books, but I mean, they're also kind of like happy-go-lucky. No one really dies or
Hmm.
anything. Well, then it's like like just around the corner, there's like snarling Yuuzhan Vong ready to kill
Yeah,
Anakin and torture Jason, and just it kind of shits on everything a little bit.
yeah, because the kids are only like 16 to 20 during the Yuzon Vong War. They're
Yeah,
14 here,
yeah.
the older ones, and it's kind of occurred to me like there's not really a point in Star Wars at all where Jason and Tenel Ka are actually in a relationship. Where
No, they got like a night together in Legacy of the Force.
in well, Dark Nest is kind
Oh, is
of
it dark? Oh, yeah, it's Darkness. You're
yeah,
right. Yeah.
and that's like the only point where we kind of and I guess there's 5 years between the end of the Vong War and
I mean,
Dark
it's
Nest, so
literally
there's
just a booty
probably
call in Dark Nest. Like
yeah,
from what I remember, like he's on Hapes, I think, and he just stays for the night. I think.
yeah,
So not a booty call, but you know,
like
Jason probably did send a "you up" text. Like he's like in the Star Destroyer, and he's like "you up," and she's like, "Yeah, like how about you?"
with the
Yeah,
last
no,
few
I'm not.
books we've started to see like the start of Jason's side of the crush, and now Tenel
Mhm,
Ka in this book. And there's a bit of that in the Yuzon Vong War, but really most of the Yuzon Vong War, Danny Kui set up as Jason
mhm.
Jason's love interest, except for during Star by Star, where like there's kissing and stuff going on between Jason and Tenel Ka, but it's that doesn't come up before or after, really.
Isn't Star by Star more about Anakin and what's her name though?
Anakin
Really?
Zahiri, yeah, but
Yeah.
like there are still some Jason and Tenel Ka moments, and
Mhm.
like Tenel Ka is really upset when she thinks Jason's dead, and that's why she's okay becoming the Queen Mother of or the Queen of Apes.
Mhm.
So
Mhm. Pretty epic story. Can't wait to get to that one. Gonna need 2 weeks to read it though. It's long as fuck from what I remember.
yeah, it's 19 books long.
Mhm.
It's going to be a
What do you think
whole
the
year of Tapcaf.
What do you think the fastest somebody's read the Yuuzhan Vong, like 19 books? Like a day? I think someone's read
Probably
them
a
all
week.
in
I
like
don't think they've read it in a
2
day.
days.
No. How much skimming are we allowing for this?
Yeah. I guess it's not possible to do it all in a day.
No. No
A
way.
week does seem more realistic. For me, like you're a lot fast. I thought I was a fast reader, but you're quite a bit faster than me, it seems.
How long did this take you? Did you do the audiobook or did you
No, this one did not. This one took me pretty much one sitting. Like 2 hours maybe, yeah. How about you?
I think it was like 45 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
I
That's
thought I was doing it
insane.
pretty slow.
Yeah, no, this one probably took me because I read half of it when I was with Imogen I read not half it, I read 20%, and then I sat down and read the last of it. And yeah, it probably took me combined 2 hours or so.
Mhm. Like most
Nah.
of the NJO books I was reading over the course of like 3 days, but there were a couple that I like got really invested in and did over there like a single day. Like Traitor, I read really quickly. Uh Rebel Stand and Rebel Dream, I read pretty quickly because they were really good.
They're
Star by Stars took
actiony,
a while.
but Star by Star is fun.
Yeah, it's just it's so dark. So dark.
Yeah.
If you're not in the
Coruscant
right
following.
headspace going into that, then it's
You did get Borskvalia dying though, which is always nice.
everyone fucking dies in that book.
Yeah.
Like there's the strike team of how many? 18 Jedi or something,
Mhm.
and 6 of them make it home.
I'm ready. I'm reading all the Halo books right now.
Mhm.
I don't know if we talked about this on stream, but they're also pretty dark.
Yeah.
A lot of people die. It's like, I mean, it's military sci-fi, so I'm like, anytime I see myself getting attached to a character, I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, especially in the Flood. The Flood has lots of, which is the Flood's the novelization for Halo CE. It's got a lot of like fun, cool characters, like not just like Foehammer, but like some that don't appear in the game. I'm like, oh yeah, I really like this character, but I'm like, they definitely don't make it out of here.
Yeah.
Unless their
Well,
name is Dustin Echoes or Sergeant Johnson.
there like I don't think I realized it the first time, maybe even 2 times that I read Star by Star, that like that's the first time most of those characters are mentioned from the strike team. So like they are just introduced to get killed off,
Mm-hmm.
but the ones who do survive end up being like the main characters for the next 2
Isn't Zek on the
arcs.
strike team?
Yeah, Zek's on the strike team.
Is Loey?
Uh Loey, it's like all the Young Jedi Knights characters, but then you have Tessar, Bella, Hera, uh Tekli, Anakin Tahiri,
Oh, is that where Techley comes from?
yeah.
I love Techley.
I think
I love all the Chadra fans.
Ganner's the one on the strike team with him. He doesn't die, but he gets captured and then
Ganner's
dies
been
at the
isn't
World
Ganner
Brain.
introduced early on?
Yeah,
And then is he the one in the
Ganner.
first scene, or is
Yeah,
that we had
because
this
like the first
discussion
half
before?
of the NJO is kind of set up as like Ganner's the new
Mm-hmm.
main character almost.
Yeah, yeah, he's a good death though. So, um, but yeah, I don't know. I've been really into Halo books the last little bit, and it's been a nice change because they're it's not like they're literature, it's like Star Wars books, you know. But
Well, Alphabet Squadron.
yeah, there are some Star Wars books that approach that level, but yeah, it's just I didn't realize how dark those entire books are. Where it's like, yeah, we got it's like the Fall of Reach. They're like, we got like 3 weeks left, and then we're just fucked.
So are we doing an episode of Tapcaf on a Halo book?
Yeah, we totally should. I think so. I think have you ever read any of them before?
No.
You'd probably enjoy them. So there's like the Fall of Reach is like the first real one that like it's like John's training and all the Spartans training, and like the Fall of Reach itself was only like the last 10% of the book. Um, but it's like how the Spartan program started. Um, and then like there's the Flood, which is like the events of Halo CE. It's probably my favorite. First Strike, which is the events how Chief got off the ring, and kind of back to Earth. And then there's right now I'm reading Ghosts of Onyx, which is kind of different than the other ones. Um, but yeah, it's kind of interesting because like a lot of the stuff in those books, which like I don't know if you've ever seen what the original cover of those books looked like, but they were really initially at least just envisioned as like tie-in merchandise
Yeah.
for the
Like
game,
I've definitely seen the original cover of the Flood and it looks just
where
like a
it's like
screenshot
just an
from it. Yeah.
Xbox logo. But it's crazy because like those books introduced like Halsey, like Dr. Halsey, like basically everything you know about the Spartan program. Cortana's rampancy was like a thing that was introduced first in the books, although that might have come from Bungie. So it's like it's kind of interesting compared to Star Wars, where like all of these kind of tie-in books, although like some of them to get heavily retconned, like they change basically everything about the Fall of Reach. It's not similar at all. However, it's like all of these little background details about the universe, like Blue Team, for example, who are like main characters in Halo 5, like Fred, Kelly, Linda, they all come from the books first. So it's kind of interesting how like Halo has
Sounds like they come from a fucking PTA meeting.
oh my god, some of the Spartans have the worst name. There's like it's just I mean John, Kelly, Linda, Fred, Sam, why am Will is one of the ones right now. Kurt. It's just like Jesus.
Huh.
But
What did
yeah,
you think
it's
about
good.
the confrontation between Zek and Jaina? Because that's what the book kind of culminates in. Is the battle has these little almost episode 6 style vignettes, and then
Almost episode style 6, so she throws down her lightsaber and says, "I'm not gonna fight you."
well, I mean, like the rest of the book is like the
Oh,
almost the Ewoks doing the little creative
yeah.
shit to stop the ATST, and a lot of the battle
Mhm.
comes down to that. And then we do get the like Luke versus Vader scene reimagined with Jaina and Zek, but it starts
Mhm.
off where Zek is blocking them from going into the temple. It's like, I'm going to kill all of you. He's the only one left, and
Yeah.
Jaina's like, I no, Zek, you can't do this. And Luke's basically like, no, we should just kill him. But Luke, I want to save him. Like, that almost never works.
I've never tried that, but we'll see. It just reminded me of like it was so over dramatic, and like Zek's thing is also there's a bomb in there, and it's like, is that what he's trying to do? Just kind of reminded me of just like two high school students just like being overly dramatic in the hallway before class. It's like, no, don't go in there. And then it's like when you finally push past them, you see it's because like I don't like the mean substitute teacher's in there or something. It's like you look back at the dark brooding kid and he's like,
Did he know there
you
was a
know,
like? I don't think that's what he was trying to do. He still thought he was being edgy dark boy at
no,
that point.
I think he knew about the bomb.
Well, he could have just said, "Hey, don't go in there. There's a bomb." And
Yeah, but
because he
he
at that
didn't.
point he was still like, "No, Peckham's dead. I'm evil and rar." And he was still in his emo phase. Like there was definitely some My Chemical Romance playing in the background.
I do find it funny how Zek just gets away, like, or not gets away, but he's just like, basically, it's cuffed on the side of the ear by Peckham, and it's like, all
Hey,
right, I'm gonna head out.
smarten up. And then they take him
Yeah,
for back on Gem Diver Station.
yeah.
Isn't it convenient that like Akbar was there on Gem Diver Station with Lando's weird fleet and another Republic fleet nearby? That's handy.
Is that? I just figured they met en route.
Well, I think that's what it's meant to be, but it kind of just reads like Akbar was hanging out with Lando and jumps in
Hmm.
because there's the Shadow Academy fleet of like hastily constructed Star Destroyers, and then you
Shit tier Star
have
Destroyers.
yeah, then you have like Lando's merchant fleet, which I guess Akbar had the DP-20s. There's always Corellian gunboats, and anything that Kevin J. Anderson does,
Corellian gunboats and corvettes in this one,
yeah. But
so we were both happy.
if you ever are reading anything by Kevin J. Anderson, there's going to be a Corellian gunboat because that's the only New Republic ship he knows about.
What do you think Akbar would have had? I guess Galactic Voyager at this point, eh?
Yeah. Uh, yeah, because Defiance is gone, and he has Voyager in.
Doesn't he only have Defiance? Isn't that only his one in Dark Empire?
Yeah,
'Cause he's got Voyager and like
he might be back on Home One by now because he goes kind of back and forth. It's very inconsistent, but since it's Kevin J. Anderson, if he had a flagship mentioned, it probably would have been Galactic Voyager.
yeah, because that's what he has when he goes back to save Yavin. You think he's tired of going to Yavin? Like,
Yeah, that's where most battles after 12 or after 11 ABY happen. There's like
yeah,
3 battles of Yavin.
yeah.
It's usually Dala. I'm surprised Dala didn't turn up in this
Me
after.
too. They really could have fit her in somewhere.
Yeah, just like she was hiding in another Misasi temple. Like comes out, shakes her fist at the TIE bomber going up over. Qorl,
Yeah,
though, a longtime staple of the Young Jedi Knights books, gets shot down in his TIE fighter over Yavin. Is like, fuck it, I'm staying here.
I like Coral in this one a lot. Actually,
Yeah.
he's one of my low key. I like all the characters in the series, and Qorl especially, because he never really breaks through the indoctrination. But he does kind of like, what the fuck? Sorry, my computer just started autoplay. He never really breaks through the indoctrination, but he does kind of like poke a little, like, few holes in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like he gets around the indoctrination, but like, oh, I can kill Norris because he's chucking imperial doctrine out the window.
Yeah, but I do kind of like how he doesn't just get miraculously healed, because he's like, he's been not only indoctrinated, but he's been chilling, like, camping on Yavin for a decade, just like stewing, just getting pissed. Like,
Well, he does
so
get supply drops out, and I think he dies in NJO
yeah,
with the
doesn't he
Vong
save the
attack because
kids?
he's helping to
Doesn't he
save the
save
academy.
Anakin, or am I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's what happens because he helps them get into the temple. I forget already, but
Let's see. It's funny. I was looking at. I always forget they made that retcon that you did the video on, where, like, from the Marvel stuff, the comics,
which
like the
one?
crash pilot.
Oh,
It's like
yeah,
there's an unidentified crash pilot who
yeah, where they combine that.
I don't think he dies actually. So
Does he not?
in 26 ABY, the Peace Brigade, fucking Peace Brigade, man. Learn the location of Skywalker's Jedi Praxium.
Oh,
They
does
attack the
he end up
training.
on like? Doesn't he end up like flying with people and?
Yeah. So Anakin's jarred awake by a bedraggled old man. I remember that. Uh, do Anakin set out to rescue Tahiri, Quarrel, and Rem. Who's Remus? Oh, that's the hostage that they have. Um,
Yeah, the Peace Brigade hostage.
yeah, yeah. I don't think he dies.
Yeah, I guess he does. He just goes back to shuttling stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what he does.
Huh.
What's the name of the guy though? The other guy, who Jason's hanging out with this story.
Peckham.
Yeah, what happens to him?
He's like 6 trillion. I think he's doing some shuttling in NJO, like supplies still.
Nice.
Because I think they talk about how he's been sending supplies to Qorl.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still
yeah,
around in
right.
NJO for sure.
Right.
Yeah, he's in Edge of Victory with Qorl at least.
Mm-hmm. Just looking. I'm curious how many books we have left. We've got. So this is book what, 6? I think one, two,
Yeah,
three,
there's
four,
7
five,
left.
6. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 books left.
Yeah,
Not
there's
gonna lie, I'm
still
gonna
the
be sad when
Diversity
we're done.
Alliance stuff.
Yeah. Shards of Alderaan. I think that's just a. Oh, I think that's the first book of the Diversity Alliance one.
Yeah. I think we've got 2 of the trios left.
Mm-hmm. Then after that, I guess it'll be Junior Jedi Knights for our off weeks.
Or Legacy.
Yeah. I mean, we
Uh,
do have Jedi Knight Ken calling our name.
who the fuck is that on the cover for Diversity Alliance? Is that Raynar? Looks
Yeah,
like a wet ferret.
yeah, that's definitely Raynor. Yeah,
Jesus.
that's not good. I do like the art for this book, the cover, like, because they can't just use photoshopped like recreations of the original trilogy characters, which is really what they
No.
got away with for like the vast majority of like Bantam era Legends. It's just like, this is a shot of Han, Luke, and Leia, just like slightly edited. But like this one, they actually, they've got Jason and Zek and Jaina and Palpatine.
Yeah.
Luke looking like he's 16 in his first high school theater production.
I'll put up the cover for everyone to see. There we go. Jason with his weird coat thing.
Weird
I don't know what
jacket.
he's wearing there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what this is supposed to be because I don't think he's actually holding his lightsaber at any point.
No, maybe that's his snake.
His snake just looks like a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Jason had to be chastised for running around the Jedi Temple holding his snake.
Kids, man, they're hard to control.
God, Zek's face just
Yeah.
looks like he's making that sound that Hannibal Lecter makes with like the nice Chianti. Just imagine that the hissing noise while he's making this face at Jaina.
I taught Gus to make that sound.
Nice.
It's been a very productive couple of weeks. I taught him, well, he knew how to make that sound for a while, but I also taught him the only good bug is a dead bug from Starship Troopers. And he's been saying that a lot, which I'm very proud of. Kelsey doesn't know about that one yet. We'll see. We'll see how she feels.
I think this is the first edition.
Oh, nice.
Because it's got a preview of Shards of Alderaan coming in January 1997 from Boulevard Books.
I don't have any of these in physical version. I had to read the janked up ebook version, and this one was extra janked up because I was like, wow, it starts in media res where it's like Jaina's in the middle of a sentence, and it's like, no, they just didn't include the first.
Yeah, I read that as well. I didn't remember that I had this until afterwards. I only have 4 of these, and I wasn't sure which 4. So it was only when I finished the book I was like, oh wait, I think I do have this one. I think I have 4 consecutive ones. Which I'm gonna go on an adventure. You keep everyone entertained.
Okay. So yeah, the versions of the books we're reading, we've talked about this on the podcast before. They're basically like as if somebody scanned the book and tried to translate that into like type, which works sometimes, but like if you've got letters that are close together, it's like, an L and an N, like a lowercase n, the book might think is a B. So it's
every instance of the word protege had 2 6s instead of the E's.
Yeah.
Prot 6G6. All right, we had Darkest Night, which we covered last time. Then I do have Diversity Line, so I can show everyone Wet Ferret Raynar.
Oh my God, he looks so bad.
And finally, we have Delusions of Grandeur. I guess at some point they decided to put like 4 characters at the top in each of these, and Jason kind of starts looking. I guess Jason looks like a wet ferret on them as well. It's just less of a wet ferret than Raynar, so it doesn't stand out until afterwards. Tenelka's hair looks like it's made out of snakes. So this is probably not great for the audio listeners, but
doesn't matter.
It's important that everyone understand what they should be looking for in their Star Wars book covers. So there we go. Those are my 4 physical copies of the books.
I do want to give a shout out to there's a YouTube channel called YJK Audiobooks, because there actually aren't audiobooks for these, not even abridged ones, but these people it's just a text to speech program, but they're using some version of the audiobook that's got perfect writing and stuff, so, or some version of the ebook, so it is just a text to speech version, but I listened to it for the first bit because I was missing some text from mine. So shout out to YJK Audiobooks on YouTube. Very niche channel. I appreciate that.
Very epic.
Mm-hmm.
It wants me to rate this book on my Kindle, but I don't know what that's going to
Well, the Kindle also wants you to rate the book on the podcast. So should we talk about that? Is there any other plot? I mean, there's not a lot of plot here.
Yeah.
It's a fun read. It's an enjoyable read. You can crack her off and drink a beer and go back to a simpler time if you want. Yeah.
I give this book 3 absentee Lukes out of 5. The other 2 absentee Lukes are just absent. It's not that I don't.
Where would you rank this one amongst your? Was this the top tier Young Jedi Knights, mid, or bottom?
I think this is a top tier Young Jedi Knights experience. We got everything you could want out of it. There was nothing that felt extraneous. We got a lot of threads coming together here. We really see how the relationship has evolved between at least Jason and Tenelka. There's not as many scenes with like all 4 of them together. That's where I did feel it was a little bit lacking. Which that's really what we're here for. But still, everything else we got was enough to make up for that. So this is this is close to the top of my Young Jedi Knights books, probably with I think I
The
said
first one.
Darkest Night was
Oh,
up there
really?
as well. I forget what we said last time, but because that was a while ago. But
Yeah.
this is up there. How about you?
I do miss too, like usually the books start off with like the peaceful moments where like they're off, you know. Usually they've got a thing that they're either fixing or like there's a new animal or whatever. Like each of the characters has something. I kind of missed that in this book a little bit. Like usually like, oh, Jason's got this new snake and you know, Labaka's got his skyhopper, which we do see in this one, but usually there's like they all come together to do something kind of just
Well,
chill and
Jason loses his whole animal collection here, so we got to rebuild that over the next 7 books,
yeah.
and
That's
then they
true.
all die in the use on.
They don't die. They get Vong formed into something much a fate far worse than death. They get turned
So,
into a ship womb.
how many of these creatures that Jason just unleashed on Yavin when he was letting them all out of their cage? How many of those were invasive species that now terrorize the Yavin ecosphere?
I mean, probably not that many. Well, to be fair, I guess Han does bring him one, doesn't he? So
Yeah, and there's the one he
yeah,
finds on the shuttle on the way to Hapes.
it's possible. I
Like,
mean,
I think he just gets them from everywhere, and then
I think Yavin's got a lot of apex predators.
that's true.
So like, well, I guess you can't have a lot of apex predators. You can have
Well, a
an
lot of them
apex.
are just like
A
the
lot of
other
high level
students.
predators.
A lot of the students at Luke's Academy probably would be more than happy to eat them.
Yeah, yeah, true. I mean, I don't know if there's already a Bearbell fuck nest going on in the Jedi Order at this point, but they
No,
can probably
that's
do it.
only Luke only meets them pretty soon before
Yeah, I
the
know.
mission to Mercure. So Jedi Master Elisa's training them separately.
Yeah, because that's when Barab gets blown up, right? That's like when they.
Yeah.
Um.
Do you want to spare a thought for the Royal Guards and
Yeah, I was just gonna say
Return of
that.
Palpatine?
I mean, everyone knows Palpatine's not actually back. I mean, I was thinking about how like it kind of did contradict Crimson Empire a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because the guards are pretty much gone, but
Yeah, but it's also not hard to believe that four who were more interested in power would have kind of you know hidden somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like Brackus finds out he's been tricked, which is like, yeah, obviously,
Mhm.
fucking moron.
Yeah.
We did get a couple emails today.
Oh, nice.
Over the course of the last week. So our first email is a question or questions for my festering boys from
Don't
Stefan.
like that. Just joking.
Who is asking, as seemingly big fans of the Legends Rogue Squadron books, what are your expectations for the Rogue Squadron movie? Obviously, the difference between the state of the galaxy immediately post Endor are wildly different in Legends and canon, and Wedge doesn't have much, if any, character development outside of the movie and Squadrons. Are you worried about the legwork they'll have to put in? Do you think it'll end up being some form of movie series, or maybe even get its own show?
Do you want to handle that? I feel like I've talked about this question a lot. I don't. I think it's going to be set after the
Yeah.
sequel trilogy. I think we've both kind of talked about that. Like,
Yeah, I'm not too worried about what they'll have to
yeah,
set up. We have
I,
so few details about it. It's hard to really say.
yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem like it's going to be about Wedge.
I'd say
Uh,
he might be in it as like the old, he's like the old fighter pilot who maybe like is in the background, but
yeah.
like it could be Poe is the new one, or it could also just be new pilots. So
If they could get Dennis Lawson to agree to like some part as like a flight school teacher or something,
mhm.
that'd be cool. But I
I wouldn't
can't
even
see a
mind if he
world
dropped it
where
up. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if there was like an all hands on deck moment where like he's got to jump in an X-wing for a bit at the end. But
yeah.
yeah,
I just mean the general idea of like if they can convince Dennis Lawson to commit to a Star Wars movie for like
I
5
think
total
he's
minutes of screen
interested.
time.
He seemed like he felt like he regretted not doing episode 7.
Hmm.
He said he wished he had, but he had prior commitments or something. Like, dude, I could check your IMDb. Let's look up Dennis Lawson
Well,
IMDb
it
real
doesn't have
quick.
to be a work commitment. Maybe someone had a baby in his life or something. Or he had a nice dinner to
The
attend.
dude's 70. He's been around for a lot of babies. Let's
I'm just saying,
see.
use Dennis Lawson while he's around.
Yeah, for sure. I guess he was in a show called New Tricks as Steve
Wedge
McAndrew.
Antilles. Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll definitely talk a lot more about Rogue Squadron as we get information. Like, I think it's something we're both excited for,
Mm-hmm.
whatever form it ends up taking, as we both like that kind of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing being starfighter combat, not necessarily Star Wars, obviously.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, our next question. Am I screwing up the stream when I do this? I don't think so. Yeah, because the window's staying over there. Okay. Next question is from Joel, who is
Hello, Joel.
asking, since I just read the Skywalker Family at War, which is a retelling of the entire Skywalker saga as if it was an in-universe
I heard about
documentation
that.
of the family, it made me wonder, what do you think the legacy and discourse around the sequels will be in a decade or two, when the sequel trilogy generation are the predominant voices in Star Wars? And we also have a lot more EU materials and source books that help round out more and smoothen out the rough edges of the lore introduced in the sequel. Do you think people will be more positive, like what things got with the prequels, or will it be different?
I genuinely have no clue. I don't know. I think it will be a little more positive, but I don't know. I just don't know.
I think it'll be more positive. Like, it's
I
something
think
like this
episode
isn't
8.
well, it's just something we've seen so often with every bit of Star Wars media. Like, there'll still be the people who didn't like it around, and like there'll still be those criticisms. But with everything in Star Wars, we've seen the same kind of thing where it gets introduced, people are very angry about it, and then eventually the people who are primarily in that headspace
Mhm.
are less invested in the conversation, at least. So the people talking about any individual part of it tend to be the people who are more into that thing. Uh, where like, yeah, the
I do
people who
find it hard to
primarily
believe people will. I don't think people are going to warm to 9 like they did episode 3, for example.
well, I don't think it even has to be people warming up to it necessarily, so much as the people who are going to be talking about it are going to be less predominantly the people who disliked it. Where, like, if you look at anything when it first comes out, the prequel trilogy, NJO, Dark Nest, Legacy of the Force, like, these all kind of got similar treatment.
Mhm.
And like, this isn't new. Nothing
Mhm.
that was said about the sequel trilogy was a new kind of criticism, but that usually falls off as people either get used to it being around or find something else to talk about.
No, I think you're right. I don't know, it'll be interesting, but I do think you're spot on. I don't know, like, the degree to which public perception or, like, discourse around the prequels improved, I wouldn't expect that, because I think that I think that episode 3 is the movie that was, like, significantly better than it was initially
Mhm.
kinda like the discourse kind of portrayed it as at the beginning. I guess episode 8, a lot of people love that movie, and I'm not one of them. I it's got a lot of problems for me, but, like, I think that's a movie that will probably get a bit of public rehabilitation, but I just the prequels, I don't know. Uh, I just find it hard to believe that the degree to which the kind of public perception around the prequels changed. Part of that is I think there's less hate towards the sequels among, like, average people. Like, a lot of Star Wars fans on Twitter or whatever are pretty negative towards the sequels, but, like, I feel like prequel hate was kind of next level.
Yeah, that
Like,
was
it
a
was
lot more in
openly
the general
derided.
public. Like, I definitely know a lot of my friends who are not like Star Wars fans who are like, okay, 7 was cool, 8 was okay, and then 9 was like, what the fuck did we watch? Because I
Mhm,
have like 2 or 3 friends who are Star Wars fans, but they're not like super invested in Star Wars. They're in no way in part
mhm,
of the online community. One of
mhm,
them has like seen a couple of your videos, and that was kind of the extent of their online involvement. And the other one, like 100% no involvement, no interaction. Like, they both really hated 9, fine with 8, but their hatred of 9 never really extended beyond, oh, that
mhm.
was bad. I'm gonna go watch The Mandalorian now, or something like
Yeah.
that.
A lot of my friends didn't hate 9, they just were like, "Eh," like, when it comes to 8, I actually had a few friends who definitely reacted a lot more kind of negatively towards 8 than 9 because, like, I I think 8's a bit more challenging in some ways where, like, and I guess that's one of the reasons I'm not huge on it, but where 9 is, like, it's just bad. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just not good. So it's like, what, like, it doesn't Yeah, I don't know.
Do you ever consider how much of like your own perspective on the sequel trilogy or any Star Wars media is impacted by online discourse? Like, I'm not saying
Yes.
that as like a thing directed at you individually. It's just something
No,
I'm
no,
thinking of a
I do a
lot. Where it's
lot.
like, what would I think
No.
of these things if I was not part of any sort of discussion on them?
Yeah, no,
Because I
I
think
think
I
about
would be
that a lot.
higher on 9 than I am actually.
Um, I am the kind of person. I will say, I, f- I do this every time. I get really into leaks before the movies come out,
Mhm.
and that's not probably a great way to go if you want to form your own full opinion. But I don't know. Definitely, yeah. I mean, yeah.
It
The
bothered
biggest,
me because it was something that I was really thinking about while watching Rise of Skywalker, where I was in the theater. I knew like the stuff about Palpatine coming back, where it's like there were parts of it that I was enjoying, parts of it that I wasn't. But the entire time I was thinking like, oh, am I supposed to like this or not? Like what's being said about this right now? And it's very difficult to block that out and just engage with it on its own.
yeah. No, I think you're right. I actually, but it can have the opposite effect too. Like for
Yeah.
me, Clone Wars and Rebels. Before I started doing YouTube, I had no interest in those shows
Mhm.
because I just thought they were for kids. And Rebels especially, like that's something that I gave a lot more of an opportunity because like I was in, Star Wars Twitter and Star Wars YouTube and like I had heard how good that show was. And plus I also just need to watch it for my job.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, and then I end up loving both those shows, especially Star Wars Rebels is one of
Yeah.
my favorites. Um so that the like I guess the community had a rehabilitative effect. I almost got to the point where, like, there were a lot of people kind of hating on The Mandalorian season 2, the end of it, or, like, just generally the inclusion of so many, like, other characters and stuff, and that almost got me down to, like almost brought my opinion down, but and then at a certain point, I was like, "You know what? No, like, I don't really give a fuck what these people on Twitter say, or, like, if they think that it was schlock or whatever, I loved it." So, like, that was kind of one case where I was able to kind of ignore the the general consensus, or not, it wasn't a consensus, I was able to ignore some of the louder voices or whatever.
Yeah. All right. Next email comes from Keenan, who is you want to read this?
Let me
Do
pull it open.
uh they're asking if there's going to be any romantic involvement between Thrawn and Arlani in Greater Good.
Oh, yeah. Does the word cheeks appear from what I remember?
No, something else.
Let me just read this. Who is it from?
Kenan.
Okay. Oh my god. I don't know, what do you think?
I don't think so.
No,
Maybe.
it's funny. Keenan, you're funny. I'll if the word sweet wasn't there, I'd probably say it, but
There's definitely hints towards that becoming a thing, but
yeah.
I don't know if we'll
Already
ever.
got canceled by the weird Thrawn Arlani stands on Twitter for suggesting. The question is, in Zahn's new book, do you think Thrawn will finally get a crack at Arlani's, he says blussy blue, I'm not gonna lay it out for you guys. Um and I mean, I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I do think there's been a hint that,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's at least something going on there. I don't know if it's ever going to be a realized relationship. Like, we don't want
That's
any
funny.
stands or any shippers coming for us,
Man,
but
they came
we
for
just
me
don't know.
hard. Did I like show you when that was happening?
No, actually, I think you did off the podcast. I don't know if we ever talked about it on the podcast.
So, so I put a tweet out basically like talking about how, because I thought there was clear sexual tension in the last one. Did you think there was
Yeah,
too?
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay. And it's like I tweeted about that and like immediately like 5 to 10. It was like a side of Twitter I didn't know where it was like hardcore like Thrawn stands. Like these people each had Thrawn names or like Chiss names. They each had like Tumblr pages dedicated to Thrawn or Arlani. and like they all kind of like they came en masse. Like I knew like Raylos existed, and I knew like there were others like in the Star Wars community like that, but like I did not know that there was like these Thrawn stands, and they're like, this is fucking disgusting that you would um put your weird fetishes into the book. I'm like, hold on, like, excuse me, like if I had if I had wrote the word Keenan used on Twitter, like, and been like that maybe, but I was just like, I think they're like gonna hook up. They're like, no, there is no context for that in the book, and Zahn has said it's not gonna happen,
So
and it's
they
just
were anti-shippers.
it was weird because they were anti-shippers, but they were like Thrawn and Arlani stans.
Were they
Like,
like were they shipping themselves with each of the characters? Is that why they were upset about the implication that maybe they're together? I don't.
I think that they preferred to see it as like a brother sister relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find one of the tweets. It's hard because I did a Twitter wipe a while ago. Let's see.
I might have to
Uh,
go back and reread parts of the book before reading Greater Good. Not specifically for this, but just to remember some of what happened because it has been like almost a year. But
yeah, I don't really remember a whole lot of what happens. What happened? Is there an apostrophe in Arlani somewhere?
AR apostrophe Alani.
Okay. Uh, seeing some references to it. Oh, here's one. Super gross, my dude. Write all the fan fiction you want, but it's clear in the text that they're friends. With like immediately the second they post it, like 5 likes to it. And I was like, yeah, and then just like I can't see what I said because I deleted all my tweets, including this one. But the person responded, the subtext where the author has stated that they're simply friends, the subtext that informs the reader their version of Thrawn lost a sister who would be Arlani's age, the subtext where Thrawn struggles with the concept of companionship his entire adult life. It is gross when you misread characters so badly that you view them as breeding stock.
Hmm.
Oh, I remember one of the people that responded, their name was CEO of Thrawn's prostate, which I thought was really funny.
And you're the weird one for suggesting that maybe there was a romantic relationship implied or like
Yeah.
some romantic tension there. Huh.
Yeah, that was really weird of me to do that.
Like
But
it's
yeah,
not
that
even
was
like we were
the
like saying anything super intense about them. It's just do you think it'll go this direction? Maybe.
yeah. Yeah.
Huh. All right.
I didn't say clapping blue cheeks or anything gross.
Well,
It's just
on this track, our final question for the night comes from Brett, who wants to know who we think are the horniest in Legends. Corrin Horn, Luke and Mara during NJO, Winter whenever Akbar's in the same room, or someone else. Lost Stars is the correct answer. I haven't read it
yeah.
yet, but everything I've heard says that.
They built a fuck room from what I remember.
But I do think that Luke and Mara in NJO is kind of slept on because like they're always going at it
Yeah, like
in
a lot of the
public.
Winter Akbar stuff happens off screen.
Yeah, like Luke and Mara almost act like 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that. Um the thing about Lost Stars is like there's a lot of sexual tension for like the entire book
mhm,
where it's like, you know, they start off as teenagers and it's like all the way till they're adults. And it's just like, are they? Aren't they? And then yeah,
mhm.
and
Well,
then yeah.
we're gonna get there eventually
Mhm.
with special guest Star Wars Explained.
Yeah. What's next
Uh,
week?
Next week, we are going to be reading a little book known as Starfighters of Adamar, going back
All
to the
right.
X-Wing series for the second last one. We only have one left after this. Just one.
Isn't there two? Isn't there Mercy Kill and then
Is there another one after Mercy Kill that we haven't done?
yeah, there's Mercy Kill and one
I think
more.
I think
Isn't
it's
there?
just Starfighters of Adamar and Mercy Kill that we haven't covered.
You might be right. Yeah, sorry.
Because the other one that's kind of like off on
No,
its
you're
own
right.
is
You're right.
Isard
You are right.
Revenge. But we covered that already.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
We'll think about that more before you
And really, this is the last, because the Mercy Kill, from what I remember, is like weird because it's like, isn't it Fate of the Jedi or
Yeah, but it has
like isn't
it has a lot
Peggy
of the
the
same
main
characters.
character?
Yeah, but you kind of catch up with all the wraiths.
Is
And
Wedge in it?
I think so. Well, Wedge is in the rest of Legacy of the Force and doing all the Confederation stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And his Mercy Kill has the Tainer. No. Yeah, no. Yeah. Because it's Tyria and Kel that are like off living on Corellia, right? And then Piggy finds them because everyone thought they were dead after the end of the Wraith stuff. Because Starfighters of Adamar, or because Isard's Revenge was like the original X-Wing characters.
Mm-hmm.
And we get back to Wraith Squadron with Mercy Kill.
Yeah.
That's their last thing.
All right. Well, I think that's all I've got. Anything else you want to add, Corey, or shall we? We didn't talk about news. Is there any news? Not really.
Well, there is like the shows coming to Disney Plus, but we can probably talk about that.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah. So that will be on April 22nd. We will be talking about Starfighters of Adamar. So get reading, everyone. Send in your questions to tapcaftransmissions@gmail.com. Remember, buy product, our favorite sponsor we haven't talked about in a while.
They've been paying, man.
It's true.
Once.
It's a rough podcast scape out there, but
it is. Yeah.
You wanna take us out?
Goodbye, everybody. Have a good night. Mario Kart tonight. See you there.
Yeah, that's true. X2.